What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for May 5th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Monday edition of the podcast. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone out there. Hopefully, you have a good margarita, maybe a tequila shot, and some good food today. I do feel, before we get into the Phillies, I do feel like Bill O'Reilly today. I'm having issues with the sound. It sounds like I'm very distant when I was doing the checks, so maybe it's all about nothing. But I've been spending the past 10 minutes trying to get the sound right, and I feel like I was just like, F it, let's do it live. We'll do it live. All right, good way to start a Monday morning. But tough one for the Phillies yesterday, 11-9. They lost. They still won that series against Arizona. They were down 7-1, came back, but lost it in extra innings. Ranger was not good. 3 2/3, gave up 7 earned runs. He was good, I guess, the first 2 innings, and then once the third inning came, just was not. I don't know if it was conditioning, I don't know. I'm not sure. The bullpen, though, held it down, kept it at 7 runs until extras then. Alvarado was okay. He looked like he was a little off. So why put him back in there for that second inning then? Why have him pitch the top of the 10th? Not sure. I think that's on Topper. I would not have put him out there. I probably would have put Hernandez in there. And now this is starting to become an issue, and some questionable bullpen management from Rob Thomson. I'll get more into that in a minute. Offensively, though, they did battle back. They showed something there. Harper, hopefully this means he's turning the corner, hit a home run. Schwarber hit another home run, extended that on-base streak. And just honestly, like the way they battled back with that, I guess you could take that as the silver lining out of this loss. But the defense is bad. Like they're making some bad errors. And it's not just one person. It's kind of like across the board. This weekend, there's a lot of, or this whole series, all last week, bad defensive plays by this team. So that is a major cause and concern. But my question for the question of the day, is Rob Thomson costing this team games? That's now 2 that I can count bullpen mismanagement when he didn't put Strom back out there for a second inning. And then when it was obvious that Alvarado was not on top of his game, to put him back out there. And I mean, the Diamondbacks shelled him. So I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you think? 267-495-8531. I might be a little oversensitive on the Topper thing because I truly think he's going to get fired and that's what's going to spark this team. But maybe I'm being too critical. But is Rob Thomson costing this team games right now at this point in the season? Very questionable lineup decisions. Yes, the analytics say certain things, but sometimes you got to have a feel for the game. And I don't know. I like I said, I could be way being too critical of him, but is he costing this team games right now? 267-495-8531. That'll get you into the Back to the Future voice and text line. Get that. Anything else Philly sports related off of your chest. They are off today. He traveled down to Florida to take on the Rays and then go back up to Cleveland on this road trip here. 2.5 games behind the Mets. The news came out that Taijuan Walker would be moving to the bullpen to make room for Ranger Suarez. Taijuan was getting loose a little bit yesterday, and I get that the bullpen was a little short yesterday for Rob Thomson, but if you're going to bring Hernandez in anyway, and you see that Alvarado is just not sharp, maybe you go Hernandez a little early and see how that plays out. And again, it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. I understand that, but this is now kind of like a consistent thing with some of those lineup decisions, some of those bullpen decisions. He's costing us games, man. And we're only 2.5 out, and somehow, some way, Phillies are like 19 and 15, 19 and 13, and they haven't. They haven't played well. And I mean, who knows? I don't know. But let me know your thoughts on Rob Thomson. I'm coming in here and fully admitting that I am hypercritical of him right now, but we'll see how it goes. All right, let's get into some housekeeping and start with a recap of yesterday's question of the day. I asked you, what is the best kickoff/punt return in Eagles history? Lots of good conversations on my Facebook with this, which is totally why I want to move and have, excuse me, a Discord chat. I think we can have some good discussions there. But with 60% of the vote, Deshaun Jackson's Miracle of the Meadowlands 2, when the Eagles were down big, Mike Vick led them back, and then he hit the walk-off punt return to win the game for the Eagles. A lot of love for Brian Westbrook's return against the Giants that saved that season that year. A lot of love, too. Second place was Visek Ahema against the Giants when he hit the goalpost. And do you see a theme there? Seems like the Eagles tend to have big punt return plays against the Giants. But thank you, as always, for participating in the question of the day. Today's question, is Rob Thomson basically a liability right now for this team? 267-495-8531. Be sure to hit me up on my social media, Jimbo_Mott on Twitter and TikTok. On Instagram, at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mott. Continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. Just remember, there's highlights, photos, newspaper clips, things like that on my social media about whatever we're talking about for the day, including my Facebook and LinkedIn. So come find me over there as well. This week, the schedule is going to be a little wonky. I'm working out of the office. I have to be in Northeast Philly by 8. So my schedule is going to be all screwed up. Not able to work out this week in the morning. So getting up, recording. So maybe that's why the sound. I'm in a rush and the things aren't warmed up. But just it'll actually, it really won't impact anything other than coming out a little early. But if the shows seem a little bit shorter or something like that, it's just because I'm on a time crunch because I need to get up to the Northeast. Congrats to all the runners out there who ran Broad Street yesterday. I started to get the itch a little bit yesterday. So I think once the busy season of my state testing for work, I think I'm going to really get into a lifting routine, strengthen my legs, and make one more go at the Broad Street run. I think I got one more in me. Just need to strengthen the legs and make sure I'm gradually increase my. I think that's why I get hurt all the time. I think I just say, all right, I'm going out and running 3 miles. Well, no, maybe you should walk. Maybe you should run a mile first. So I'm going to start and treat it like I'm starting off fresh, and hopefully, body permitting, I will be running the Broad Street Run next year. So stay tuned for that. All right, time to run our Tankathon simulation for both the Flyers and the Sixers. This is our last one for the Flyers, as the real NHL Draft Lottery is tonight. And the Flyers ended it on a good note. Second straight day they got the first pick. Hopefully that continues and comes into play tonight. Looking forward to that. I don't know if it's going to be must-see TV, like my idea of just having the ping pong balls like the lottery people. But it will be on TV tonight, so we'll know tomorrow who the Flyers first round, or where the Flyers will pick in the first round, I should say. Sixers not so good, as they lose the pick, drawing the 7th spot in the lottery in today's simulation. But we'll continue to do that as their lottery draft poll is next week. Be sure to check out my boys over at the Clashing Conferences podcast. Lots of great things happening on their Sports Fan Network. Go to theclashingconferences.com for details of what they have to offer, how you can get involved. And then be sure to check out their podcast. New episodes drop Thursdays and Fridays. Good conversations, good topics. Shifting toward baseball. Finished lots of talk on NBA playoffs. There's even some WrestleMania talk a couple weeks ago. So go check them out wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. But go to clashingconferences.com, see what they have to offer, find out how you can get involved and support my friends over there. And then go to Philly Goat, do some shopping. Talked with my wife. She did not want anything from Philly Goat for Mother's Day. So your mom might want something. And they got you covered with all kinds of Philly sports apparel, specifically for mom. Like I said, my mom has a couple Crux shirts from there. She loves them. So check out what they have to offer. And it's not too early to start thinking about Father's Day. They have those nice Fanatic Rocks glasses. You want to get some artwork. They have the partnership with Jordan Spector. like I've been telling you this for a couple weeks. Go just scroll through their site and look at all of the things they have. You won't be disappointed. And then use the promo code Jim Montgomery at checkout to take 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com, promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. All right, today we're going to go back to 1999. And as Prince said, we're going to party like it's 1999 today. Sixers beat the Pistons 105-100 in overtime. Allen Iverson went for 33 points. Matt Geiger had 20 points, 16 rebounds. Remember him? Really the only reason why Allen Iverson was not traded before that championship run. So thank you, Matt. Tyrone Hill added 21 points and 9 rebounds as the Sixers finished their regular season at 28-22. You might remember that season was the lockout that basically canceled half of the season. Did not start until February 5th. And then they kind of had an abbreviated rush through 50-game season. But this is when the Sixers, during the Allen Iverson era, really started to become fun to watch. It was a good time to be a Sixers fan because you saw the potential and everything they had. But this win against the Pistons to end the season was huge. There was a bunch of teams just bunched up, and the Sixers, I believe, could have gotten as high as the 5th seed or as low as the 8th seed. So this win helped them with the tiebreaker. They ended up tied with the Bucks, got the 6th seed because of the tiebreaker, and made the playoffs for the first time since 1991. A little bit of irony there is the Sixers and Bucks both made the playoffs for the first time since 1991 that season. Who were their playoff opponents in 1991? Each other. Just thought that was cool. But back to Allen Iverson, that 33 points coupled with the fact that Shaquille O'Neal sat out the fourth quarter of the Lakers game and only scored 18 points gave Iverson his first NBA scoring title. He was the first Sixer to win it since Wilt did it back in 1966. He also became the shortest player to win the scoring title, coming in at 6 foot on a good day, really probably about my height, 5'10", 5'11"-ish. But that playoff run was a lot of fun because the Sixers, as the 6th seed, knocked off the 3rd seed Orlando Magic in 4 games. But then they were swept out by the Pacers in the second round. But at that point, I feel like we all knew what was coming with this team. They just were trying to figure out the right pieces to put around Allen Iverson. And it was a good, fun time to be a Sixers fan. I would love to get back to that time. But on this day in 1999, the Sixers beat the Pistons 105-100 in overtime. Allen Iverson scored 33 points to clinch his first NBA scoring title. Sixers clinched the 6th seed in the East. They would go on to knock off the number 3 seed Orlando Magic. And I just remember, because it was an abbreviated season, the Sixers were hot down the stretch. They started off slow, but they probably or likely may have been higher in the standings had it been a full NBA season, but because of the lockout. But man, was that team fun to watch. All right, and finally today, we're going to close out with our Philly Sports Summertime playlist. Today's song, Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. It was released in 2012. The album reached number 1 on the Billboard hip hop charts. The album was number 2 on the Billboard 200 charts. And the Philly Sports tie, we all remember it well. It was I don't know if it was official, unofficial, but either way, it was the song that the Eagles used through that playoff run on their way to Super Bowl 52 and the victory for their first ever Super Bowl championship. So that song, Meek Mill, obviously a Philly guy, but that song, because it represents, every time I hear it, I go back to that, and I remember them playing it in the stadium during warm-ups and things like that. And then Doug Peterson, good old Dougie P, had the NFL play that as their song when they were introduced during the Super Bowl, kind of as a surprise to the team. And I will be 100% honest with you, once you heard them being introduced by the PA announcer and that you heard the song playing on TV, at that point, I knew there was no way the Eagles were going to lose. No way. So shout out to you, Dougie P, for reading your team. But Dreams and Nightmare is if you have kids, you might want to play the clean version, and that's okay. But Dreams and Nightmare by Meek Mill is today's Philly Sports Summer Playlist Song of the Day. And your bonus song, we're going to stick with Meek Mill, get a little theme going, and I'm a Boss, the song he does with Rick Ross, that is our bonus song. So Dreams and Nightmares, add it to the Philly Sports Summer Playlist, add I'm a Boss, and let's go. And I told you, this is going to be a very eclectic list. Where else can you go from Elton John to Meek Mill? Come on now. On this day in 1999, Sixers beat the Pistons 105-100 in overtime. Allen Iverson scored 33 points to clinch his first NBA scoring title. Sixers clinched the 6th spot in the NBA playoffs. First time since 1991 that they made the playoffs. And you know, as well as I do, of all the times I talk about it, I was thrilled that the Sixers were in the playoffs. So happy to see my crazy ex do well. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for May 5th, 2025. Tomorrow we will update you on where the Flyers will officially pick. We'll run another Tankathon for the Sixers. No Phillies update, but it is Tuesday. We'll continue our look at the 5 harsh truths that we must all accept in order to be a better person. So stay tuned for that, all on tomorrow's episode. But it's a Monday. Go have yourself some Monday. And until next time, hopefully the sound will be better tomorrow. And I'll see you when I see you.